Let me bang.
I do let you bang. Hey,
let me bang you, James, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, marriage and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
What's up, people? Welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter, here with Greg Romero Wilson, the funniest person I know. Got a haircut, huh?
I did. I was on a shoot last week that I can't discuss yet, but that everyone will undoubtedly see. And then, so the wife cleaned me up for the shoot.
Congratulations. Looks good, man. You look younger.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then you got the Guns N' Roses shirt. Still the best concert I've been to.
Dude, I went to them when they played Dodger Stadium. I want to say about 3 years ago. 2-3 years ago, something like that, on one of their comeback tours, and yeah. Slash was with them and everything. But old Axel, he looks a lot like old Kathleen Turner.
Yeah, physically, but he sounds amazing.
No, he's got his voice back.
Yeah,
and you can tell though there were moments when he wanted to press it and remembered like, oh, that's right, I can't do that to my voice anymore if I want to continue, and he would like bring it back down.
It's like a 4-hour show. He's running around the stage, going crazy. Like, it's just a great show after great show, sweating. How does he say that out of shape? You would think that he would, like, after 6 months of this, he'd be ripped. I mean, 4 hours a night. I think that they got him on like medication or something.
He might be on, exactly. There's a lot of those maybe antidepressants. Those tend to make people put on a lot of weight. So that could very well be the case. He's just on pills.
Because, by the way, just so you know, let people know this. I had really bad OCD. Like, literally, I would drive my car, think I hit somebody. No, I didn't hit somebody. Spend an hour in my head going, I think I might have hit somebody, and circle the block looking for people that I know I didn't hit. Like this, I mean, it was like fucking crazy. This is years ago, but like, it's just, you can't get out of your head, and you always imagine the worst possible scenario and everything. And it becomes like almost like that. Remember those like direct TV commercials where it's like, you miss this and then this happens and then this happens.
Right.
That's literally like even on stage, a joke bombs. And I go, oh shit, a joke bombs. I'm not funny. I'm not going to work here anymore. My wife's going to leave me. I'm gonna lose child support. I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be driving Uber. I'm going to be broke. Everyone on Facebook's going to be like, you're a loser. It's just, you go to the fucking worst possible. And it's like all day long this happens, right? It's a fucking terrible way to live. Well,
I feel like that's just being Jewish though, isn't it? Doesn't that... That's actually, no, I'm sure I'm making a joke, obviously. I mean, I think when you take it to that level, it's clearly, a bit of a
fucking hell. But anyway, I'm actually reading this book now. I wouldn't say reading it, I'm listening to a book. It's an audio book. I mean, it's not really, my vocabulary probably isn't being enhanced, but it's basically the book. I highly recommend it because after 23 years of fucking almost like debilitating OCD that I have, I feel like I've like turned a corner. So Overcoming Unwanted and Intrusive Thoughts by Sally Winston. But I bring this up because remember when Axl Rose would spend like 3-4 hours to come out to a concert? Like, he would notoriously like,
right. Yes.
And he wasn't on drugs. They actually asked Slash one time, was Axl on drugs? And Slash said everyone in the band was on drugs but Axl, but he should have been on drugs.
Right. Should have been something, yeah. Because
I guarantee you, I asked someone in the band that was in one of the bands in Guns N' Roses, but like a different version of Guns N' Roses, not like Duff. I go, does he have OCD? He goes, dude, you have no idea. Probably what happened was he couldn't have this has to happen, that has to happen. He's probably in his fucking head for 3 hours, and then that's what happens, which is probably why he's medicated now, which is why he's so big. But anyway, lo and behold, it's an amazing show. Don Frye, how are you?
I'm better than Axl Rose.
Got him. Pew-pew!
So I accidentally, Saturday night I was in Arkansas, and I accidentally sat on my phone, and I called Don Frye on FaceTime, right? But it was the best connection I ever got. But all of a sudden I hear, what motherfucker? What do you want? It's fucking late. I go, oh, Don, man, sorry, I butt dialed. He goes, you fucking cunt. Fuck you. And I had someone in the car with me that doesn't know who Don Frye is. I had two people in the car that were like, who the hell is that? He goes, you fucking pussy, butt dial. What kind of motherfucker? This went on for, I go, all right, Don, hey man, I gotta go. No, fuck you. You call me and you leave. Dude, it was like, it was unbelievable.
And I laughed my ass off after you hung up.
Oh my! I had people in the car that didn't know who Don was. Like, who was that guy? I'm like, I can't even.
They must have been afraid for your fucking life. Like, that guy seemed really serious. I think, Adam, you need to change your number.
Dude, he must have called me a cunt like 35 times in 1 minute. I think he broke the record for cunt.
I wish you recorded it. Oh, fuck.
Dude.
I'm trying to broaden my vocabulary too, you know?
Yeah, listen, that's all you need right there.
No, but all of a sudden I hear from my ass, you fucking cunt, what the fuck do you want? I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, and I look at I'm like, oh, it's fucking Don. Anyway, so I was in Arkansas, right? Dude, I did Little Rock. By the way, there's no COVID in Arkansas. Like, no one wears masks.
They don't give a shit. Yeah, Texas, Arizona, Florida, all the same way.
I gotta say, I'm jealous. Their kids don't have to school with masks. Don't go to school with masks on, and I'm like super jealous. Like, dude, as a wrestling coach, we canceled both matches so far this year, and almost at like a bunch of practices. It's just anyway. There was a guy in the crowd, this like huge guy, and his girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, is your wife your girlfriend? He goes, that's my wife, and this is my girlfriend, right?
Nice.
Dude, these people were like huge. I mean, like,
but which one was his daughter?
I go, I don't believe you. Let's see you guys all make out. They all started making out, right? Together, like the three of them. It was like a horror film. Like I even said that. What?
800 pounds of saliva, huh?
Dude, it was like a six-some, right? It was, I mean, but they were super nice.
Jabba the Hutt times 3.
Dude.
Yeah, they're literally in bed together. Like, I don't know where I end and you begin. Like, literally, I don't know where I end and you begin.
Dude, then like
they're eating frogs. They're eating live frogs as they do it, you know?
Yeah, when they lay in bed together, it looks like a pan of cookies that you didn't spread enough apart.
Oh my!
They all just melted into one.
Dude, and when I thought that was the worst, right? Part of it, this other couple, like these older people that are like, when they're like, "Hey, that's not." I go, "Can anybody top that?" And some lady goes, "Yeah, he's married to all three of us." Like some guy had 3 wives. I'm like, I go, "Is this a side effect of the booster shot? Like, what the fuck is going on here?"
You think they got the shot?
Dude, that was like one show. Another show, this guy came up to me with like blue hair.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Did you sleep with one eye open?
Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much. Greg, what were you saying?
I was just saying, shit's going down in Middle America, man. I mean, I grew up Texas, you know, and shit's going down. And people, that's why they go out there. So nobody, like, fuck all your rules. I'm going to go out here and just live that's what it's about. I dig it, man. I'm into it. Live your life. That's as American as it gets right there, baby.
That's what I said. I go, listen, at the end, I go talking to the people at the threesome. And I'm like, hey, man, look, as long as you're happy, I'm not a judge. And the guy goes, get in where you fit in. I go, well, I don't know if there's many places to fit in.
No, thank you. I have to go vomit. I have to go vomit really bad right now.
Dude, then like some other lady, after every one of my jokes, kept going, really? 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 And I was like, are you single? She goes, yes. And I'm like, really? I just fucking...
Nice, you got her.
That was the end of her. Some other guy with like blue hair, him and his girlfriend, his sister had like half black hair, half red. So I called her like a walking mood ring, right? So then the guy came up to me after the show and he was like, can I talk to you for a sec? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, first of all, it was one of those sets. It was $2 Thursdays, right? $2.
Oh, boy. Woo.
And it was like 7 black women that just, if it was like a conversation, older black women, like they were just like, I would tell a joke. Oh, hell no. All right. That's what I'm saying. Man, that's just like just fucking full on. I'm like, I couldn't get 3 words out without like, so then I just started like, and then one guy laughed at every premise. He's like, huh, 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 like before the punchline, you know, like, and then the punchline, he wouldn't laugh. So,
maybe he was your writer. He already knew the punchline.
So then I do a joke about anybody here shaved their vagina, and then one lady's like, my vagina's perfect. And I'm like, oh yeah, right. I go, prove it. She goes, come here and finger me, right? Like that's what.
Oh.
And then she kept yelling "finger me" after every third joke. I was like being like half sexually assaulted, but it was kind of funny. It was just like, I'm like,
You've been like,
did you?
Yeah.
No,
did you order some rubber gloves from the kitchen?
Dude, there was a part of me that was like performance art of like, but how do I explain that to like my wife? Like, I got kicked out of the comedy club. Why? Well, I fingered an audience member.
I figured an audience member.
She told me to, honey.
Exactly. It was part of the show. It was part of the show.
So then the guy with blue hair comes up to me. He's like, can I talk to you? I'm like, sure. He's like, you know, I liked your set, but there was a lot of racial jokes and you did a lot of crowd work. Too much crowd work. I wanted to hear more material. I'm like, I couldn't get through 2 words without people fucking yelling at me. like I go, are you a comic? He's like, I do sketch. I'm like, you are sketch. Like, leave me, get me the fuck out of here. Like, dude, it was.
I mean, you know, it is called the loony bin. I mean, sometimes, you know, it's like the saying goes, when someone tells you what they are, believe them.
Dude, one woman got so drunk, right, during my set. Because this guy was making the strongest drinks ever. She took off her hat and threw up in her hat during the show.
Oh yeah.
Hey, wait, you're blamed.
But then she didn't get up.
Wait, yeah.
But then she didn't. But then she held onto her hat the whole time.
And that even while you fingered her.
Come on, man. You know, I mean, if you're doing a bad set, own up to it, man. But yeah, you know, don't blame the drinks to the bartender.
Dude, some other guy said that like, I'm like,
his set sucked so bad she puked in her hat and held on to it.
Yeah,
because that smelled better than his fucking act.
Dude, some other guy was with a girl. I'm like, where'd you meet? He's like, she was a stripper, right? I go, oh, what was your pickup line when you met her? He goes, I gave her $20. I go, and how long did it take you to bang her? He goes, $20 more.
So then come out with the 50.
Dude, then I'm doing my closer and I like rip. You ever like accidentally rip the microphone out of like the
yeah.
So I accidentally ripped it out, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Miss, you've seen these before," and I can't get to the stripper. Dude, it was just one thing after another. Like, dude, it was crazy. It was fun though. So were
you invited back?
Yeah, oh hell yeah, dude. So then my special comes out. My special came out last night, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Fighting Jam comedy.
The UFC Comedy Jam, right?
There you go.
It's on UFC Fight Pass. I'm super proud of it. They didn't edit any. Like, it's raw. Like, holy shit, is it raw? Because I'm like, oh, this joke's not gonna make it. This joke's not gonna make it. This is not. They just fucking left it. I was like,
they used it all. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I'm like, great. So my wife's like, let's watch the special. I can't wait. Blah blah blah. blah.
Oh
no. So last night we get in bed together. Right. I haven't seen my wife for like 4 days. We get in bed together. My first joke in is like, when I met my wife, I told her I was a sex addict. A year later, I told her she cured me. Like, that was like, that was joke 1. My wife's like, really? This is how we're fucking starting this right now?
Turn it off and have sex first, honey.
We actually did we ended up having sex last night. I mean, but it was like, during the joke where I go, you know, they have like, why do they have extends for men? It should be, what if it's the female? What if it's compacts, mushes? My wife looks at me and goes, you must be so proud.
Oh, he gave you an angry pity fuck then, huh?
Yeah, pretty much, man. I mean, look, I'll fucking get it where I can take it.
Yeah,
get it. You'll get in where you fit it.
She got mad at me because I went to Mexico. I went to over New Year's. I went to Cabo to do the Cabo comedy show, and she's always mad at me for not getting her gifts. She's like, "You always get the baby gifts and not me." It's a lot easier to shop for a 3-year-old than it is for a 31-year-old, just because whatever I get, she's not going to wear anyway. So she's like, I'm not going to be like, buy clothes she's going to wear, like if I get something and she wears it, it's by accident, it's like I sort of got.
You're supposed to buy her jewelry. It's called jewelry, buddy.
I know. Well, I bought her.
Boy, I'll tell you what, when Don Frye can see it and you can't, oh boy.
Well, I got her these 2 little Mexican salt shakers, salt and pepper, that look like her grandparents. So she was mad about that. And
I got her this broom so she could clean up, and I got her this vacuum attachment she's been asking. Jesus, you're a shitty gift giver.
I got her a necklace too, but she didn't like it. It was like a cheap, it was like a cheap
Taco
necklace.
shells or what?
Yeah, what? But she wants to have a date night.
Taco shells? Did you say taco shells?
Taco shells. Taco.
Don, where should
I thought you said taco shells. That'd be hilarious.
That's even better.
That really is.
Well, could have got some oyster shells, some concho shells. I got you taco shells. Yeah.
Got you. I was in Mexico, baby. I got you a necklace made of taco shells.
Yeah, baby. Put it on. Let's eat.
But Don, where should I take her though? Like for like a nice date night. Any advice? Where should I take my wife?
Yeah, someplace where you like to eat. That's how I always.
That's right. Take her on a date to the kitchen.
Greg, any advice?
Yeah.
I listen. No, I have nothing. You know what? I'm so lucky that I have the easiest going wife ever. She doesn't really care about holidays or gifts or anything. And so people always think that I'm the asshole. They're like, what are you doing for Valentine's? We're like, my wife doesn't, I used to buy her stuff. And she'd be like, great, it's a forced holiday. So I'm like, now I don't buy her shit and she's happier. People think I'm the asshole. And I'm like, this is what she wants. She wants it this way. So I guess I'm just lucky.
Dude, there was a Christmas.
That's because come divorce time, she'll have a lot more money in the bank account.
She'll have a much better argument. She'll be like, "You never got me shit for Valentine's Day."
Dude, there was a Christmas.
Adam.
Yeah, go on.
Adam,
yes.
Does your wife like sushi?
No.
Fucking hey, what woman doesn't like sushi?
No kidding.
Dude, no kidding. And I love it too. Dude, there was a Christmas where I'm like, Bree, what do you want for Christmas? She's like, oh, I want a treadmill. So I'm like, all right. So I got a treadmill. Dude, people were like, what'd you get your wife? I'm like, a treadmill? I got so much.
Oh my God. It sounds bad. It sounds bad when you say it.
Yeah, she parks it right next to the ironing board and the vacuum cleaner.
You should say that too. No, it's a really good one that has an ironing board attachment so she can run, she can jog while ironing. So it's a 2 birds, 1 stone situation. It's really high end.
Dude, the look of fucking people hating me on that. I'm like, bro, I didn't like. What do you want? Like that's what she wanted. She wanted a treadmill.
No,
That's what I told everybody too. Yeah. So didn't work. Didn't work in the divorce court for me, buddy.
Dude,
start pigeonholing your own money. Start pigeonholing your own money. Because she's doing it.
Then we have a Peloton, right? We have a Peloton too.
No, I got to tell you, with the way you lay it out, like she says, I want a treadmill. You're like, okay, great. I'm going to get my wife a nice treadmill. When you lay it out that way, it sounds great. But then, when you say it back, like, what'd you get your wife? A treadmill, it sounds very, very bad.
Dude,
very
it's
bad.
terrible. And then,
cooking lessons.
Dude, then I got her a Peloton. I got her a Peloton, right?
What'd you get her? Yeah, exactly. Well, for Valentine's, I got her some fake tits. And for Christmas, I'm going to get her the lap band. So it's all terrible. It sounds bad.
Then, she wanted a Peloton, right? So I'm like, okay, so we've got a Peloton, right? And then she's like, I think I'm going to work out more if the Peloton is in the bedroom. That way, I'm like, okay. So I moved it to the bedroom. People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, moving the Peloton.
So I can watch her. I can watch her run and decide if I want to bang her or not. You know?
Yeah. Exactly. It's like nothing turns me on like watching you sweat a few off before we hit it, Dave.
It's terrible. It's fucking terrible. And my wife is beautiful. I love her to death. So I'm very, very, but like, yeah, you're right. When I lay it out, I'm like, that's what she wanted. I'm terrible.
Yeah, no, when you lay it out, it sounds great. But when you summarize, it sounds horrible.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, by the way, have you seen that Jake Paul has been learning how to kick? And he's
great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is he going to second grade? I mean, come on.
He's gonna get some pom poms. He's gonna get some pom poms and lead the cheer, for the UFC.
Yeah.
So I mean, so he said that it was like his first day of kicking, and he was actually doing a pretty good job kicking. I'm not gonna lie. He actually but I was like, great. I can't wait till you make your debut against Pete Sampras. Because
that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, well, hopefully somewhere out there's a water polo star who is willing to take a MMA fight, because that's so fucking. I mean, because he's not going to use it to fight anybody from MMA in an MMA fight.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. There was a guy who was like the minister of like Canada. I'm trying to find it. And he was like, my wife just worked 12 hours a day. A Canadian politician.
Get on the Peloton for 4.
The guy writes, this thing went viral. He goes, even, hold on, I'll see if I could share it. People are so mad. Dude, if you ever want to laugh, Black Twitter, like they call it Black Twitter. I'm not sure why, but it's like Twitter, but mostly black people responding, is the funny, like you don't want to get shit on by Black Twitter, like, cause they will fucking come after you. But here, let me see if I can find this. So this guy who has like a pretty big job, John Reyes, right? So he's the MLA for Waverly, Minister of Economic Development and Jobs, former small business owner, family man, proud veteran, Winnipegger, Manitoba, and Canada, right? So he puts can you guys see this, Greg?
You see?
Greg?
Yes, I can see it.
So he writes, even after a 12-hour night shift at the hospital last night, my wife still has the energy to shovel the driveway. God bless her and all our frontliners. Time to make her some breakfast. Like, so this guy thought.
Sounds like your wife.
This guy.
Dude, wait a minute. But how much time did she spend on the bike?
Dude, this guy thought this was a good idea to post this. Oh my God. The comments, you are a disgrace to manhood. Somebody, enjoy the men you have created, feminists. Good luck. Bro, are you serious? Put down a thing and shovel it. I'm not sure, but I bet she would have preferred to come home to an already shoveled driveway after that 12-hour shift. She was making sure an ambulance could get through the driveway because someone's about to have a camera logged up his rectum. Somebody says, I mean, it just keeps, the replies are, I mean, Jane Lynch just replied, and you took a picture of her instead of helping her. Heterosexuality is terrifying.
Hey, they want equal fucking rights, buddy. They want equal rights. They want to be treated equal. There you go, man. Shovel away,
exactly.
baby.
Grab a shovel and get out there.
How is this equal right? She worked for 12 hours in a hospital and comes home and shovels the fucking thing. He goes, this is the future of feminists want. I mean, it's just one after another. People, I mean, this is the funniest thing. What an idiot. Why would he write this and post it?
Well, because much like your thing with the, getting her the treadmill, I mean, we don't know the context. Clearly, there was some additional context where she got out there and started. Maybe she loves it. Maybe she's like, oh, no, I want to shovel because when you do it, because I got to tell you, like when someone and I go grocery shopping, right? Okay, yeah. We get all these fucking groceries. And then we get up there to the line, and I know the best way for me to help is to get out of her way.
Yeah.
Because she has a very specific system that she doesn't. But you should see the looks I get. Well, I just stand there being an idiot waiting to pay, and she does all of the work. And people look at me like, what kind of a fucking husband are you? And I'm just like, listen, I know that what she wants me to do is nothing. So I'm just going to wait for her to pay. That's it.
Dude,
sometimes to pay, right.
So she doesn't. Sometimes people just don't know what the situation is.
Somebody wrote she's digging a hole for your body. Dude, no, Greg. Going shopping inside and letting your wife do the thing is one thing. Having your wife shovel the fucking driveway after working 12 hours.
It's Canada. This is their life. For them, shoveling snow is basically going to the grocery store. That's
no way. Yeah, I'm not. There's no fucking way. There's no way.
It's like praying. It's like praying to their God. It's going to church. So he's doing her a favor. He's letting her get closer to the Lord by working.
I feel like that's gonna be Don's new litmus test for whether or not he can be with a woman. Like, you can stay, but let me ask you this: if there's 3 feet of snow outside, which one of us is shoveling the driveway?
Dude, Don.
And if she says me, she gets to stay.
Don Frye's mustache is fucking shoveling that driveway. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way. Don is not a man's. Don is a man's man.
The snow actually just melts in the presence of Don's mustache.
Oh, by the way,
I go out there like Godzilla, but I farted away.
By the way, Don, you were in Godzilla, right?
Yeah.
What was that? What was that like? Was that all green screen?
No, fuck no. We had sets and sets, Greg. SETS.
Got it.
Not S.
Yeah, I got it.
And it was the last movie with the guy in the costume.
Oh wow! Last one in the costume.
What's up, people? Bet Online would like to wish you a very happy new betting year as we continue to march to the playoffs and beyond. Bet Online remains the #1 spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. It's a new year. It's a new updated desktop and mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code CLNS50 to get started. They got football, basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC, to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, check them out now.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's like such a legendary thing. Say you were in Godzilla. I mean, how fucking cool is that? All right, MMA news. So Max Holloway was supposed to fight Volkanowski. Max got hurt. They're looking for a replacement. Henry Cejudo is begging Dana. He wants to fight. He tweeted out. He says he goes, "Hey Dana, give me a shot at Alex. I would never cancel. I'm Mexican. We don't believe in pulling out of anything."
So he borrowed your joke there and threw it in there. Okay.
I'm not. No. Me and Henry are like very good friends.
I know. So clearly he felt like he could just borrow a little bit from the catalog.
Me and him work together. And then he said, "Hey Dana, pay me to fight Alex, and I'll beat up Jake Paul for free." But I think that's. Look, they're trying to make the Korean Zombie versus Volkanowski, and I would much rather watch Henry Cejudo. I mean, the guy, he's a champ at 125. He was a champ at 135. I mean, that people say he doesn't deserve to, just skip the line, but
sure he does.
Why not? I mean, the Zombie's been winning and losing and winning and losing. Why not let Henry do it? I mean, he's, it's like.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. He didn't retire. He retired a champ, a double champ, I believe. Isn't that right? So, I mean, why wouldn't you get to skip the line? Of course, you earned that right. You didn't leave here busted, you know what I mean? You left on top. Is it a problem when Conor McGregor comes back and fights the top? Is it a problem with any of these guys came back and immediately got a big fight? I mean, I think you got to – absolutely. Cejudo would be awesome.
I think that was the problem, and was when GSP came out and beat Bisping, who was the champion at the time, and then just was like retired afterwards. It kind of left a mess because now you have the guy that was the 170-pounder beating the 185-pounder, winning, retiring. Who gets that belt? And I think the UFC was like scared of that happening again. Let's say Henry wins, then retires again. Now what? Now he's Like,
what? They do those interim fights. They do them all the time with these guys, you know? I mean,
yeah. You know what? Cerrito's people and Wilson's people been cutting in lines for years now. They work out. Go through it legally in the proper channels.
That's one take. That's the now Charles Oliveira.
Well, like Khabib, if Khabib wanted to come back, you don't throw him into it. You know what I mean? He'd probably come back right into a championship style fight. So, I mean, you know, and he's not Mexican.
Yeah, but he's Muslim. Who's going to argue?
There it is. There it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
people are not going to argue with the Muslim. Don makes a lot of good points here.
He does. He's right. Listen, Don makes a lot of sense today. It's happening.
I still think
today, baby?
I still think my idea to make $1 billion is to make a black Republican Fox News channel. Because if you ever go on Instagram, like Candace Owens gets like millions of hits. Those two Hodge twins, and it's a lot, and it's mostly white people that just love what they say. You know,
Yeah.
It's the same thing with that like sheriff, the black sheriff, that guy from Texas. I forgot that guy's name, but he was like,
Yeah, he is great.
Yeah,
for commentators, we'll get people from the black Instagram, right?
No, so yeah, you give them a show on like a TV show, like a black Fox News, and then Don Frye would also have a 1 hour a day. You have to have the Don Frye hour on that.
Oh, without question.
Tito Ortiz would have an hour, Antonio Sabato Jr., and then you just get like liberals to go on there. You get black liberals, they just like just argue. Or white liberals, whoever. I'm telling you. You don't think this is a good idea?
You might as well call it World Star News, because that's what you're going to be creating if you.
Oh, my God. Call it whole shit news.
You don't think that would make $1 billion? Probably.
I think it would. No, I think it's actually quite brilliant. You know, I think you should, because I think they recently came out with the Black Information News Network or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's. There it is, exactly. I don't think it's on that side of the fence, though.
No, you make all black conservatives. You get a couple liberals here and there, but like, and then it just becomes like, I'm telling you, get like Herschel Walker would have a channel, would have like a show. Anyway, back to fighting. So so now Jake Paul, I guess PFL is saying they might, and Bellator are talking to Jake Paul. And this guy Pat Downey, who was All-American,
something to get somebody to watch. You know.
Hey, people would watch though. People would watch.
I think they would. I think they would definitely watch if it was on Bellator or something that isn't pay-per-view. But if it is, I don't see where it's beneficial for Jake Paul. I mean, he's making 3-4 times as much on his own. So why would he bother to do it?
Well, they're saying he might box Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. next, who's a real boxer at least, and see how he does.
He's a real boxer by name.
Come on, he the guy fought Canelo. I mean, he never actually beaten anyone that good, but he's fought these guys.
Yes, because of his name. He has name value because his father was one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah.
He is just as a junior behind it. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a curse, actually.
Yeah, I could see where it would be. He probably doesn't even want to be a boxer, but that's where he can make millions, so he's doing it.
Yeah, right. I mean, right. Remember, he was like missing weight a lot, or he was like, but he actually has talent. He actually has decent talent. He's just always been, he's never had the discipline. I find with combat sports, the second coming usually is never as good as the father, because the father had to or the mother.
Exactly. He had to earn it, fight for it, work for it. That kid's never known poverty. He's never known hunger. He's always known privilege. He's always known what it's like to be on top. So it's just not the same.
What are we talking about?
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. The only son that I think surpassed a father that I could recall, because he was Mayweather Jr.
Yeah,
he was better than Mayweather Sr.
But Mayweather Sr. wasn't a great. He wasn't one of the great fighters.
No, he was. Then he got shot. I think he got shot in a leg or something. Like he was pretty good, really good. But
I'm not saying he wasn't a good fighter. He was never considered one of the greats.
No.
They never had the lifestyle of a champion. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, but like Marvis Frazier was never as good as Joe Frazier, and then
Spinks, Leon Spinks.
Layla Ali, though. Layla Ali.
Layla Ali was good.
She was fantastic, but, she didn't have a lot of competition. So.
Yeah, right. I'll tell you who actually is the kid from Bellator who's undefeated, AJ Mckee. His father's name was Antonio Mckee, a good fighter, but AJ's better. So far. All right, this Saturday.
I thought his dad was an NFL fighter. NFL player, rather.
No. His father was a fighter. It was a fighter that no one wanted to fight for some reason. He was one of those guys that he kind of went under the radar. I think he was mostly a grappler, and people didn't want to. His fights were kind of boring, and it was the risk wasn't worth the reward. One of those guys that you're yeah, it's gonna be a tough fight, but
he was a real boring fighter.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Hold him down to fight him. Yeah.
And it was a different era then when, they weren't going to pay guys to do that. So.
Right. Well, they still aren't. There's still guys that just grapplers that are just people. They're not, they're anyway. So this week though, we're back to MMA. Calvin Kattar is fighting Giga. This should be a good fight. This should be a really good fight. Both these guys are young and hungry and studs. I think that Giga's going to win. It seems like every time Kattar steps up, he loses. But at the same time, he's had he's fought much better guys as of late. Do you know these guys at all, Don? Giga,
no.
Giga Chikadze versus Calvin Kattar. And then Mikel Pereira. He's the guy that...
Is it Kattar? I thought it was Cater.
Is it Calvin Cater? It is.
I think so. That's one of the few things I remember about him was that his last name was pronounced Cater instead of Kattar. And that's about all I remember about the guy personally. So, but I remember liking him. Thought he was a pretty good fighter. So
he's a good fighter. He lost to Max Holloway his last fight, but there's no shame in that. But he lost 50-43, 50-42. He beat Dan Ige. He knocked out Jeremy Stevens. He lost his.
I think the Ige fight is what I remember him from.
He lost to Zabit, but I think he was coming back in the third. It was actually probably Zabit's toughest fight. And then Giga he beat Barboza, knocked out Barboza, knocked out Cub Swanson.
Yeah.
His last loss was against Austin Springer back in 2018. By the way, Cub Swanson and Uriah Faber might fight. They're calling each other out. I think that's a good fight, actually. Cub looked great in his last fight. He looked fucking amazing, actually, against Darren Elkins. And Faber's always game, and Faber's a wrestler, and that's the one thing that kind of Cub has struggled with his entire career. I think that's a really good fight. Who do you like in that fight, Don?
Guy.
Cub Swanson or Uriah Faber?
The old guy. Yeah.
They're both.
I was going to say, I think they're both old guys at this point.
Yeah, they're both.
Even though Faber. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry. Well, because Faber looks young. Faber always still looks like a kid,
Dude, Faber was legendary for getting the most amount of pussy out of any fighter. Any ring girl fighter, most of them, if they're hot, there's a good chance they bang Uriah Faber.
And he's pretty short, though. Isn't he 5'6", 5'7", somewhere in there?
Short, but he's a good-looking kid. He's super confident, but he's also not very he's charming, but he's one of those dudes that doesn't he's not aggressively. He just knows when to strike. He knows how to get the girl. He's very selective with his shots, and man, damn, has that dude banged. Dude, actually, one of his fights against Jan, I looked over and I see his little daughter. She was maybe 2 or 3. Maybe it was son or daughter. Anyway, and then I go, oh, his wife's hot. His wife's beautiful. It was the wife's mother. That's how hot this. She was smoking hot too. The wife's mother was maybe in her 50s or something, and she was still smoking. So Uriah's a good dude, really good dude. And so was Cub. I remember going to a fight with Russell Peters, and we went to go watch a fight, and Cub got dropped, and after the fight, he got knocked out or stopped. After the fight, he's in the stands. He comes to me. He's like, "Hey man, can I get a picture with you and Russell?" He wants a picture. I'm like, man, dude. Then he came to my comedy show one time. He had his jaw wired. He broke his jaw, and I'm going around introducing him, and he's still drinking, right, through a straw. And I'm like, hey, this is Cub. He's a pro fighter. And he's like, ooh. And people were like, what's wrong with that guy?
Pro fighter.
Don, do you ever have your jaw wired?
No, I've been lucky. I kept my mouth shut while I was getting punched. Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah. Caitlin Chukagan. She's fighting Jennifer Maia. It's a rematch. This should be a good fight. Chukagan won the first one. She's the one that grunts all the time. So every time she kicks, she goes, huh, 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 huh. It's like a karate.
Like a karate thing, yeah.
But
like Kiop or something.
But she always wins the close fights. And I honestly think that like it helps her with the judges because they keep saying, huh. Every time she strikes, they have to like write it down, you know? And I think it like helps her. Have you ever fought a guy that did that, Don, that always went, huh, huh? All right, Don's gone. All right, so also,
what about this fight with Pereira Lima, man? Michelle Pereira Lima, isn't he that guy that does crazy shit?
Yeah. Oh, did Lima get I know his opponent dropped out. Is that who he's fighting? He's fighting Lima now.
Oh,
yeah.
They have Muslim Salikov as his. Is that the one that dropped out?
One of them dropped out. I don't know who the guy. Yeah, he's the guy that was in the circus in Brazil.
Yeah,
all these crazy backflips. But
dude, I love this guy, man.
But he doesn't do it anymore, though. Ever since he got like a good trainer.
Yeah,
like, because he was like winning like half the time by doing that shit.
Right, because he would do like strange like cartwheel kicks and fucking running off the fucking cage, trying to do flying kicks, and yeah, he was being an acrobat in there as much as anything else. So he got caught a few times.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. But he was getting tired, too. He was exhausted by the third round. Dude, I remember the first time he did that, Cormier was, like, commenting on him, and he was like, he jumped into the guy's guard by doing, like, a straight backflip into the guy's, and Cormier was like, what the hell was that? Like, he just said, like, he was like, what the fuck? Like, you just heard, like, it was, dude, there was Brett Ernst used to have a joke about, like, black kids seeing magic for the first time. Like they flip out, like
right.
Magic, they're like, oh, they run around. Like, dude, that's kind of how Cormier was when he saw that. Like, he was no longer a commentator. He was just like, holy shit! It was hilarious.
But you know what? To me, to the casual observer, that's what people love about martial arts is that kind of martial arts, kind of movie-like martial arts, not combat sport martial arts, which is much more controlled, not a lot of flair, a lot of just trying to win the fight. Whereas he was doing exciting movie fucking martial arts where you're jumping off shit into kicks and flying around. I mean, that's the stuff people love to see. And I don't know. That was the part I loved about his. Even though I think he's a great fighter and I love watching him be a more disciplined fighter, that stuff, I have to admit, that's the reason I remember him is because of that stuff.
It was straight like video game stuff. It was like hold down the joystick, press A-XX, then you can do that move or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how crazy Diego Sanchez's coach was remember he fought Diego Sanchez and no one even cared that he was doing triple backflips. Everyone was like shitting on how Diego's old coach. Like that's how crazy that guy and horrible he was. He's basically full focus from that guy. Also on the card is who else? Chase Sherman. He's a guy that like went into bare knuckle boxing. He had like really funny memes for a while or like GIFs. He's a really good fighter. He looks like O'Doyle from O'Doyle Rules from Billy Madison. Yeah. Collier, that should be a good fight. Court Mckee, who I once coined as the Conor McGregor of Utah. He's fighting. He's a guy that like overdosed. I think he was pronounced dead because of like heroin or drug, and he bounced back. And then this guy who's fighting, Dakota Bush is fighting. His nickname is Harry.
Yeah.
But the UFC won't allow them to say Dakota Harry Bush. Like that, like
so they have to say Harry Dakota Bush?
He can't. I don't know what they just say Dakota Bush, but that's bullshit, right?
Dirty Harry, come on, man. Dirty Harry Bush, should be better.
I mean, come on, don't you think Harry Bush? You should be able to say that. So, like I said,
yeah, you should be. Come on, guys, that's so silly of them. Come on, there are children watching people getting their brains beat out. We don't want him to hear Harry Bush.
Right.
But no, that was my favorite nickname, right? So I tweeted that. But then people were like, no, it's not as good as this one. So there's a guy named Rick Pfeiffer from Canada. His nickname is the Ginger with Intent to Injure. And then there's James Heelan, whose nickname is Sexual Heelan. That's
nice.
Jeff Nader has Scary Nickname. That's his nickname. Scary Nickname. That's all right. It's kind of funny. This dude, Michael Nallo, his nickname is, what is his nickname here? It says, Rat Garbage.
I like that. I like that Scary nickname. Those are good.
Logan Clark, his nickname is the Pink Pounder.
The Pig Pounder?
Pink.
And they all about Harry Bush.
Yeah, like the Pig Pounder is his nickname.
What?
Come on, they won't allow Harry Bush.
Well, I don't know if they're going to allow the Pig Pounder either. He's from Minnesota.
That'd be funny if that was what was between him and getting a shot at the UFC, was going by the Pink Pounder.
Joseph Poshanek is the Hoe Bag. There's a guy named Beaver, whose nickname is Beaver. Beaver.
Oh, my God. The Beaver, and his name is Beaver? So he's the Beaver?
Yeah, his nickname is his nickname is Beaver, and his nickname is Beaver as well. So like Beaver. B cubed. Dan Walsh went by Only Dan's.
He should go by Eater, should be his nickname. So he's the Beaver Eater.
Euros Medic, his nickname is the Doctor. That's okay.
That makes sense.
Lewis Long, his nickname is Foot Long. I don't know. I say it's Beaver, or the Pink. I think the Pig Pounder might be the best one. No.
So if you were fighter Adam, you're Adam Hunter. Assumedly you would be Hunter as a fighter. So you would be Adam Beaver Hunter.
MILF Hunter.
Adam MILF Hunter?
Yeah, I think MILF Hunter would be the best.
Yeah.
Beaver. I still can't believe that. I mean,
how is his first name and his last name both Beaver?
Dude, you guys think I'm kidding. I'll show you. Like, Beaver.
Beaver, and then in quotes, Beaver. Yeah. Like, Beaver. How is it? Wow, he must be from some weird country where they're just like.
This guy's like the ginger with the intent to injure. Yeah. That's, I mean.
If you got time, sit down. Let me tell you a nickname. Jesus Christ.
No, this guy's good, though. Leonardo Alves. His nickname is Nate Diaz. He just took a name.
So ridiculous. I'm going to be Greg Don Frye Wilson. Remember the name. I'll be like, I got him. What do you got? I got a mustache. Remember the name, not the one on the ends, the one in the middle. That's the one that counts.
So you guys know who Sean Strickland is?
Yeah.
So Sean Strickland is a fighter, Don, and he's like this dude, right? I think he's won. Let me see. I think he's won 10 in a row. But he's out of his mind. Like he's like Colby Covington. I wouldn't even say 2.0. He's like 4.0. So his nickname, what's his thing? His record, because he's a Groot fighter. He's 24-3. He's fighting Jack Hermanson. He just beat Uriah Hall. He beat Jocko, Brendan Allen, Marshman, Nordine. So he's won 1, 2, 3, 4. He's won 5 fights in a row. His last loss was in 2018. And then
Uriah Hall ain't no cupcake. So
and then he lost to Usman by decision. But the dude's beaten a lot of people. So there's videos of him like knocking out sparring partners, Don, like kicking sparring. And like he goes 100% in sparring. Like everyone says this guy's a psycho, right? Well, now he's on Twitter, right? And
is he complaining about the elites?
Dude, he's like So I'll just read some of his tweets to you. Should I screen share them or just read them? What do you think?
Either way.
All right. So
screen share and read.
All right. So he says, hold on. Let me see if I could.
And why did we talk about the Royville Bontorini fight? Is that not happen?
Oh, it is. It is.
Okay. Because that I think is going to be probably maybe the best fight on. I mean, that should be a great fight.
Which one's that?
Brandon Royval.
Oh yeah. He's a good fighter.
He is. I like him a lot. And this guy Rogerio Bontorin, I don't know how to say it. But anyways, he looks. I mean, he's 7th ranked, so that should be a good fight. I like Royval a lot, though. So all right, read your things.
All right. So he goes. All right. So he said, when he goes, I heard Bob Saget died. I guess not a full house anymore. Laughed my ass off. And then he goes, I think he would have laughed at that. And he tagged Bob Saget, like, which is like, why tag him? He's dead. I mean, what was the? So then he writes, all right. He goes, it makes me tear up a little bit to think about where I'd be without MMA. All right, I'm getting off this bitch. Peace out. Oh, that was nice. He goes, I just bought a thing. Everyone checking out Monday, coming back from Madness. This is one of those days. He likes to hurt people. Hold on. He goes, I'm also gender fluid. Watch out, ladies. I'll do anything for the gold. Oh, he goes, time to work out. He posted a picture. I actually dated a Muslim woman once. Very sweet, beautiful woman who somehow managed to drive a car. This was a while ago when they couldn't LOL. Anyways, from that moment, I realized how fun repressed women are. LOL. You guys don't know about me, but I'm actually a feminist.
Oh, Don, I think you have a son out there somewhere.
He goes, I'll make fun of Christians and they say, Sean, one day Jesus will come in your life and save you. Come to church. I make fun of Muslims and it's straight death threats. Laugh my ass off. Y'all, can't we just get along? He goes, Khabib, let's go. I'm open to being friends with violent dictators, criminals like Khabib. At Dennis Rodman, when you're done sucking off Kim Jong-un, let him know I'm open to being his buddy. Human rights violations? He goes, well, the UN needs to mind their fucking business. If I ever make money, I'll go fuck yourself money. First thing I'm doing is buying a compound and a pet bear. He said he likes women. I like women. I think women are the real predators in life. Men were fucking dumb. We just want blowjobs. You don't even need to be hot. Women, on the other hand, the moment they meet you on the hunt, gathering data, laughing, smiling, seeing for the right target. Scary. He goes, a lot of crazy stuff out there. Help you lose weight. I tried this new thing called COVID-19. I think it was made in a lab in China. It's the greatest thing ever. Had it for 2 days. I lost 8 pounds. Highly recommend. Dude, I mean, he's like, I mean, what do you, I mean, I will say when I have my gun, I'm way more dangerous. I have such a fear of going to jail. When I have a gun on me, I'm less confrontational. When I'm unarmed, fuck, I just need one asshole with a knife or tire iron to get my first confirmed kill, or LOL. All right, getting off Twitter.
Jeez.
I don't know, man. I mean, fuck. The bigger the bigger they are, the bigger pussies they are in the gym. The smaller the weight classes, and the women spar harder than the man-sized people. This guy's been helping me a lot. He's a dirty Russian, but fuck, he's down to scrap.
Can we get this guy on the show? I think we need him and Don Frye on a one-on-one here. I think
all the men that voted for AOC, you might be the lowest form of fucking beta man, and your existence on Earth is only because the world was created by better men that allowed you to be a bunch of fucking cockless cunts. AOC runs to Florida and go part of the master.
I like that.
Oh man, I mean, and then he talks about he has something about do you think John Jones is gonna have a white New Year or is it gonna be orange? You all be safe tonight. You never know when you're gonna encounter a coked up UFC fighter.
Who's this guy's name?
His name is Sean Strickland. So he writes, "Thank God for this meat," right? And he posts a picture of him killing a deer. And he goes, his wife will be proud. Like, what?
Was he the guy, let me ask you, was he the guy that for a long time, like he was a beast in the gym and he trained a bunch of guys, everyone said he was so great, but then he didn't really, he kept losing fights and then he really focused on the mental aspect and then he started winning the fights in the octagon? Right, that's it. Okay.
Yes, exactly. He goes, somebody goes, I've been getting some hate for this, but for that gay son joke. He goes, I'll take a fight any day over sex. Sex doesn't even compare to watching blood run down someone's face as their consciousness fades. Y'all should try it. He goes, man, I mean, this is just keep going. He goes, listen, gay men are great. I support them in the choices. Freedom. Gay guys have it made. Most gay guys I know are always happy. They all just want to hang out with buddies all day and have sex. Us straight men, we're fucked. We got to do some serious work to get laid. If I had a gay son, I would think I failed as a man to create such weakness. If I had a whore for a daughter, I think she wanted to be just like her dad. LOL. And then it just keeps going on. Like what?
Well, at least he hasn't let success go to his head.
Like, Don, what are your thoughts about Sean Strickland? Oh, he's fucking left. I mean,
we lost him again. He'll be back.
I can't believe nobody's called him and said, listen, man, we want to have you as a main event. Could we just stop the tweeting for, our Instagram? Like, we got some money. We got we're going to, just chill a little bit. Because then he went back and said things about like, he actually thinks he might be half gay or he just, he doesn't give a fuck. The guy does not care.
He does not give a fuck. Well, and that's the thing is he doesn't have that much to lose just yet. But this is the kind of thing that, he keeps winning fights and they want to make something out of him. They're going to, this is going to come up, because at the end of the day, UFC is now a corporate structure and they have a brand to protect and shit like that don't play. So it is something that I think at some point is going to, if it hasn't already, maybe it's been a conversation. He's like, fuck your rules, I mean, who knows?
It's one of those things I think also like everything he's saying is fucking crazy. So like, who cares? He's like, nice tweet, one thing. Ooh, like,
right. No, it's all pure insanity. Yeah. And listen, but it's again, maybe I don't know. I think it's maybe he's just not high enough up the food chain just yet to where it affects him. But I think if that next step comes up, they're going to look at that. Maybe I'm not in favor of that. I don't want this guy censored. You want this shit to be free? Fucking say whatever the fuck you want. I don't want it to. I'm saying, I can see where it will, though. That's what I'm saying. And I hope it isn't because he is one of those guys I was rooting for in terms of, when you hear the story, when you hear the rep and how he finally got his mental game in place. And I was there when he won that first big match back in the octagon. I was watching. I was like, this guy, I could see it. He does have it. And then mentally that played into the next event where he came out super confident and fucking whooped some ass. So I like the guy in the ring. I just hope that stuff doesn't keep him from taking the next step.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, I think he's trying to be funny. I think that the problem sometimes with people that aren't comedians, as comics, we always sort of have that we kind of know where the line is, even though we fuck up. Whereas this guy's it's like an open micer.
Right.
First day, where anything goes.
Exactly, and he's acting like pure shock value. Isn't it? Which is fine. I love shock comedy. I do a ton of shock comedy myself, so it's not like I'm against it. But when it's earlier versions, it tends to be just saying really shocking shit that isn't necessarily funny. And that's the other problem with Twitter, with trying to be funny in a printed form. You don't see the face. You don't hear the inflection. You don't hear the voice. Yeah. You can't see if he's smiling. You're just reading it and taking it exclusively as printed face value, which you can read it in any context you want at that point. You can read it as being angry. You can read it as being funny. You can and so that is the problem with this Twitter and just simple print. And you can't hear inflection. You don't hear tone. You don't get context. And so that kind of thing, it would be interesting. I'd love to have him on the show. I want to talk to him more about this stuff.
All right, I'll ask him. I'll try to get him on the show.
We got to get him on the show. And Don Frye's got to talk to him. Him and Don Frye are like soulmates.
Don, what do you think about this guy, Sean Strickland? Are you a fan?
I think it's great. I think we need to get him on the show, partner. Absolutely.
You tell him Don Frye needs to sit down with him. He'll show up.
I'll tell you who's going to love him is McCorkle.
Oh, McCorkle's going to love him. He's like, honestly, he's like McCorkle. When you were reading, I was like, gee, sounds like McCorkle's Twitter feed. He's going to get fucking banned again.
Yeah, McCorkle gave me one really good joke that I always use. Because he's like, hey, you want this joke? And normally I don't take jokes, people, but I'm like, this actually, it works. But then he's like, hey, man, I got some jokes I wrote for somebody. Will you read them if you like? I only read the first couple. It was like literally like the first two are about being molested. Like right away.
Yeah. You're like, I hope this is for his retirement party because that's what it's going to be when he finishes telling these jokes.
But he's a good writer. He's hilarious. McCorkle's fucking funny.
McCorkle's hysterical. And that's another guy that I don't think exactly not out of context, like just reading it. I mean, you can't tell.
No. He's so funny too. Cause he really is like his hero. Have you watched Cobra Kai this season?
Not yet.
Have you ever seen Karate Kid 3?
No.
Yes.
All right. Well, this Karate Kid 3, Don, is this guy that like is a billionaire that started the Cobra Kai that basically just has all this money in oil and cocaine. He's like the biggest villain. He's like getting laid every day. He's this tall karate expert who literally has money. He's doing money. So he goes and he like.
How's he a villain?
Yeah. So he basically just spends all his time torturing Daniel LaRusso. Like for no fucking reason. Like he buys a dojo in the valley just to fucking torment a high school kid, right? And McCorkle, that's his hero, he told me. He's like, if I had that kind of money, I would do the exact same thing.
And that is on the money. See, and that's just being honest right there.
Like McCorkle is that guy that would do things just to make himself laugh. Literally just to make himself laugh. Like for nobody, like he doesn't need an audience. He is his biggest fan. That's what my dad used to. My dad would be like, Adam, the problem with you is, there's only one of you. If there was a million, you'd be rich because you're your biggest fucking fan. You think you're so fucking fun. Like my dad would tell me these things. But anyway, listen, Don, what do you got coming up?
Oh, shit. What do I got coming up? I want to head out to L.A. watch the heavyweight championship fight here. Is that next week? 2 weeks? When is that?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, the Cyril Gahn fight?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to watch. But I just, we filmed all day yesterday with our podcast, and we interviewed a man named Eli Crane, who's a former Navy SEAL, and now he's going to run for Congress out here. And hell of a guy, got a good brain on him, And next, I'm my buddy Stuart Wilson. He's a stuntman for Bruce Willis for the last 8 or 10 years, and he's coming over, and we're gonna do a podcast with him here Tuesday or Wednesday. So we got a little bit busy, man.
I love it.
I got to tell you, did you ever think you would hear Don Frye talking up guests he's having on a podcast? I mean, I love it, man. Good for you, brother. You're the best.
No, Don Frye, I went back and watched an old Dan Severn fight where I think it was one of the first UFC fights. He literally just kept suplexing the guy.
Yeah.
And all I keep thinking is, every great political campaign begins with an appearance on toxic masculinity. Nothing says appealing to the masses.
That's it, baby.
I love it, though. I love it.
And Greg, what do you got coming up?
Let's see what is this month. I'm going to head out to Florida tomorrow to do a corporate gig down back in Miami, and then I'm going to be back at the Strat for I believe it's going to be the grand opening week of their new location of the LA Comedy Club on the ground floor there at the Strat. I think I may be the opening weekend headliner, so we'll see how that works out. But that's the last week of January. And then I think at the beginning of February, I'm going to be at Laughs in Tucson and at TK's Comedy, the new comedy club. I'll be there over for Valentine's Day in Dallas, Texas, in Addison. So if you live in Dallas, check that out. Woo-hoo.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
When you gonna be in Tucson?
I believe at the beginning of February. I would have to look it up, but I do have dates coming up at Laughs in Tucson.
Yeah, hell, I'll even come out in my cave and go down there and watch, man. Shit.
Oh yeah, buddy! You guys heard it. Come down to my shows. Oh God, I got to look it up now. I got to get the actual date. Let me get this right because if Don Frye is going to be there, our audience is going to want to know. So let me take a look here. Oh, okay. So it's the last weekend of February. I'm sorry, 25 and 26. February 25, 26. I will be with Don Frye at the Laughs in Tucson.
I love it. I love
Alrighty.
it. I'm going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma this week at the Looney Bin in Tulsa. Next week, I'm at the Funny Bone in Des Moines, Iowa. And then I'm back in Cabo at the end of the year, and then at the end of the month in Cabo, in Mexico. And watch my special, UFC Comedy Jam, now on UFC Fight Pass. Thanks, guys. You guys are the best. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks.